Welcome, fellow armchair generals. This is Gamer 1745 here with my continuing playthrough of Hearts of Iron 3 with Black Ice 8 and Third Reich event. I just want to say again how pleased I am with at least the viewers who are posting on the channel, how well informed you are. And I say informed because I don't know if you're well read or you watch a lot of documentaries or you're well educated. Now, just because you go to school doesn't mean you're educated, because I know of a lot of people that have graduated university that don't seem to know anything. So, but however you want to, however you attained your information, some of you guys really have a lot of good insights into the World War II and what was going on, and I really do appreciate talking with you guys. So please keep it up. I do like that. So okay, we're going to continue with our operations here. I also like it too that it seems to be a rather diverse group from different parts of the world, with different sorts of a lot of mud, okay, viewpoints as well. That's also very nice. Yeah, I thought that was going to happen, but I put a bunch of stuff in the production queue. Oh, also I noticed, sure, before each episode I do some sort of place units, pick generals, so I noticed some things. So I noticed here that the Japanese invasion here on Buna, I wasn't in time enough to help it or save it or whatever, so but I'm still contemplating my own Port Moresby invasion. I wish I could have gotten there in enough time. I don't know for sure that I would have saved it, but I sort of kind of think I would have been enough to distract and they would have been able to hold out. And we seem to be picking up a fair amount of convoys out here, sinking some of them that are supplying the Americans and the Australians and such. I've also, as you can see, there's a lot less red out here in the North Atlantic. I started sending a bunch of submarines over to, where is this? Arquipia, to, as time goes along, to operate out here in the Pacific and disrupt U.S. supply operations. So we're heading for that. Okay, interception tactics. Those would be air interception. Okay, we're going to let that go. So, okay, the names of the Kriegsmarine group. This division. Let's see. Okay. On board, great. I think that's going to be my Florida invasion. Yeah, I know. Really good strategic planning going. Hey, here's a corps. Let's see if we'll invade Florida with it. Not quite the measured threat assessment. Uh-oh. I think he was attached to an HQ, so I think that was our theater. Yeah. Damn. Okay. Yeah, so we're getting more into that. I know that's just an HQ. Okay, we're going to stop this. I think we have a river crossing penalty here and other things, so we need to wait. I was hoping these guys get there in enough time. I think this mountain warfare will come in. Okay. You guys make it there. Oh, we've got enough force to deal with this, I know that. But Just got to get it in theater because the Americans are backing up the Peruvians. And they're counterattacking. We just basically shattered them. Okay, SS Infantry Brigade, do your bit. Once I get the next 2 big shipments of units we're going to be looking at, maybe hopefully this episode. Invasion of Mexico and Florida. We're going to get those going off. And we're going to see about coming into Nova Scotia after that. I know the weather isn't with us, but we'll see what we can do. Attack pilot training. Oh, good. The 33rd Unterseeboot Flotilla. Yeah, we'll dump it in the production queue there. Now, I have been doing a bunch... Oh, long-range subs. Oh, cool. Those are good. So I was wondering why that happened sort of late, but yeah, that's long-range subs. Been doing some modding recently. Sort of backed off it for a while, mostly to a bunch of life stuff's been happening. Plus, of course, this channel's been keeping me fairly busy. I really do enjoy the modding as well. So with the new Black Ice out, it's sort of pushing me to do it, and mostly I'm adding other people's stuff, but I do all the research still. I mean, they come up with the great events, but I still research it to understand everything that's going on, to understand better why they think the game effects should be. Sometimes I disagree and change them a lot. And some of the contributors aren't very graphically oriented, or at least they don't put, you know, either don't have the skills or don't put terribly much time into making the event images, so I remake them. Or other times they're, you know, especially George 1941's been doing some really splendid work, so his event images are coming in, so I still have to spend time with them, but it's still very helpful to have them come up. So I've been doing that a bit, so it's sort of put me a little behind. Not behind as in you're not going to get to see a daily episode, just sort of behind in that I don't have a cushion of episodes here, so I just hope things go well enough and I don't have to don't get sick, don't whatever happens so much that I have to delay anything. But very soon I hope to have another version of TRE out for you all that's both works with the newest version of Black Ice and has some really great stuff contributed by the wonderful contributors that I have. No, I don't have a release date. Everybody's asking. After watching what's happened with Hearts of Iron 4, watching what's happened with Panzer and his travails of not his fault, the lightning strike that took him out, that delayed next Black Ice almost 2 months. It should have been out long before. I've just decided, nope, Either it's going to be out in 3 months from now if you really need a date, or I'm just not saying, and I will try to, and I have been, like I'm doing sort of now here on the channel. I know it'll be a day or so from when I say this to when you'll see it, but keep you update on what I'm doing. That was amphibious unit. Okay. So I can do that. Okay, well, 1940. Let's keep you update with what I'm doing. So, like, I will let the general public know when I have something going out to the beta testers or similar sorts of things that. You know, I want the ships. There to comparison that. Okay. Thought I had a flotilla heading here. My Marine Corps? Oh, did it transport? And oh, damn. I had it as transport and not as rebase, because I want to rebase it here because I want to invade from here. Damn. Okay. Okay, now let's look at. I think we will try here. Convoy rating passive. Because I think the US needs to supply into here, so I'm hoping to. Got some units. You know, so let you know that sort of the stages of what's going on. Sorry, I'm interrupting myself. As opposed to, you know, so if you know that, hey, it's being. They're still not in very good shape. Okay, these guys. So I'll give you some idea when it's coming out. SSHQs, we're going to use those to help control occupied zones. I think I moved things into a deficit, yeah, so we'll not add more. And throw the mountain warfare unit in to help. There we go. I think they should be here and available now. Yes. Here, intercept. of these guys. I'll move some more heavy fighters over soon. We're going to air intercept, but night. Not much area, but just they'll have the advantage fighting at night. If anything comes out to attacking transports and their escorts, they'll jump into it. You see they seem to have had some activity there. I'm waiting for one more fleet with my cruiser. Light cruiser armor is advanced, okay. And we're just going to end that. I normally, often as you can see, it's sometimes happens faster than some of the other techs, but I normally start it later because I like fast ships. I think speed in naval warfare helps. Now maybe it doesn't help with the engine here. Oh, I want to say again, I know we talked about it, I believe it was the last episode, talking about my, particularly about my using mixed formations of units like this. I feel I'm on very strong ground at having the flying boat, which has much better observation, mixed with the naval bombers that also have decent observation, you know, finding targets at sea. Mixing those because they're both naval attack craft, and if you're somewhat looking for submarines and not just looking for the big fleets, I'm on very solid ground with doing that, and I know I'm going to, after I get done doing the next version of TRE or something, I'm going to make some videos on naval on air, generally speaking, and I'm going to take Oh My God's advice in hand with that, but mixing it like with close support fighters, or you know, one group in with them. If you're smart, you're going to take Oh My God's advice and do it sort of like bomber groups and then interceptor groups, and then if you're not able to get air dominance, use bombers at night with the twin engine fighters at night to intercept. So if you're smart, you'll do that. I presume that's going to be the best advice. Now if you're like me, you'll continue doing it this way. So that's sort of the choices you have if you're smart or if you're like me. So I still like the concept, and it's partially just play style, in that I sort of want to set the Air Force operating like you've seen I have here, and then yes, have them just handle it, hopefully well enough to do it well. And as I'm recording this, there's another terrorist, well, there was the Easter terrorist event in Pakistan where they targeted Christians, women and children, though. The State Department, well, they're also mostly Muslims. Okay, fine, but they targeted Christians. It's a religious minority. They targeted on Easter in Pakistan. And like as I say, as I'm doing this, which is sort of novel and sort of like, hey, cool. There's been an Egyptian airliner hijacked and has flown to Cyprus. That's sort of cool. That's like taking me back to the 80s when they used to hijack instead of just blow up out of the air. Not that I want this to happen, but what used to happen with airlines. For you kiddies out there, because some of you may be older than D9/11 on 2001, but aren't, you know, too much younger. It used to be they'd hijack airplanes. Oh, we can force conquer on Peru. Cool. And the U.S. grabbed their two. Can't go there, so they're gonna. We don't need to keep going to Lima. Used to be that terrorists would hijack airplanes, and then you would. This is again for the youngsters there out there. They'd hijack the airplanes, meaning someone would get on board with a bomb or with a gun, and then do, you know, a few days to a week or so stand off to have the whole world riveted and watching you. And are the people going to get off safe or not? Or how many of the bad guys are going to kill this time? And do a lot of that kind of stuff. That used to be what terrorism was all about. You used to have training what to do if your airplane was hijacked. Now, of course, what you do is if your airplane's hijacked is every damn thing you can to kill the people as fast as you can. But there used to be whole strategies on how to survive a terrorist incident. I went through some of that training way, way, way back when. Mass events have advanced. Okay. I'm still not sure whether this is really helping or not. Increased in manpower, that part is great. Decrease in ICs, that part is not great. But okay, another one of these. Okay, militia, go take them off. So, nostalgia time here. Switzerland, yes. No. Okay, now we have the two big invasion fleets. Okay, we're gonna load. Well, you're way far away, so you're being unattached. You're there, but we may be bringing you up, so we'll leave you attached. You're right there, and you're going to go in with them. You are also there. And our airborne. See, unlike the other, this is a non-droppable airborne unit, I don't believe. I don't think you can... I don't think. Let me just check, because I don't know why they created this. I'm sure it's based off of the history of this conf group, but conf groups were often don't think it. That doesn't say you can. More often ad hoc affairs, so we're going to disconnect you for the moment. See lots and lots of units here, overstressing the, I'm sure the okay, I'm going to attach you to the 5th there. I'm also going to attach you to the 5th. Okay, so not this one. Oh, just wanted to go up to the 5th. I'm going to get units that I think will get off the ship fast, because we don't want to take time getting off the ship. They're already on board the ship. Oh, they got reordered because of they detached and reattached these guys. Okay. And I want to load these guys on board as well. Okay, let's see if we can go right into here. To Veracruz. Okay, let's start the invasion of Mexico. I was trying to think, was there something else? We don't need simultaneous to the day of Florida, but I'd want to be here and be ready to ship in units. So I think I have enough. So most all of this Central America I was checking again before. Start of the episode. Most all these nations are at war with me. So we're going to have them, like these guys maybe. But wait a minute, hold on, what's happening here? Air intercepting? Naval striking. Do I have these guys on naval strike? I don't want air intercept. They're supposed to be on air intercept. No. Air intercept. Night. Everywhere large region. Yeah, that's what I'm supposed to be doing. I make mistakes. Okay, well, we're coming ashore. Not really worried about the Mexican army. Nope, and or the Navy, I guess, but they did have a naval operation, so we needed Graspe and crew. Okay. Good. Let's just understand. They're counterattacking, but seems like the non-engaged units will be able to hold out. .38, that's what's gonna go into. Let's first get a port. And we've won electro steel welding. And we are hopefully to get working on getting interlocked armor, so we're going to leave that to go. Light cruiser engines advanced, good. And yeah, these won't affect us much unless I'm ordering new ships from now. Anti-air cruiser, let's go for that. Ordering new ships or putting the current ones back through the production crew to upgrade them to themselves, which just means upgraded them to their current standard. That's close air support. We'll let those go to their current standards, and that makes perfect sense because you should have to send them back if you're going to upgrade the engines, which sort of means to some degree or another haul out all the engines from a ship and either replace them or alter them in a major way. You can't have them just sort of automatically doing it while you're running them through the Normal operations. So let's look at some other parts of the world. Well, what's happening? Okay. Everybody get on board. Don't think I'm going to do it this episode, so you might want to let me know if you think. I don't know if this is a good idea going after Port Moresby or not. How are my bombers doing? Messed up. Okay. These guys going. These guys are going to support. And these guys are going to attack. Let that one go. Come on, guys. Get that port. Yeah, you can have some supplies. They're gonna get it first. Don't have the river crossing to do. Snow begins to fall. Okay. Yeah, we may be holding off on our northern invasions. Yes, you can have supplies for Athens. Army Commando, alright. No big deal. United Kingdom has lost the hood. Oh, finally. Somebody's got the hood. I wonder who it was. Probably Japan, I presume, but... I think with the terrain and... Let me look at the terrain again here. Okay, jungles, mountains. We want... Oh. These guys should be attached to that. It's closer. There we go. Oh, they're not all here. They're here. Skip past it. They're not. They're not. Now, mostly not here. Okay, we need to pick up a few more light forces. Those guys are on the wrong ships. Yeah. Everybody off the ships. Everybody off the ships. Okay. Well, that'd be a fine group to be on. Because that'll be well escorted into here, which we have. Now these guys, it's okay. Well, we already, go down here, pick up these guys. Okay. CC. Patrol. They destroyed my other patrolling units, or I don't know. Patrol there. Transport that there. Okay. Jet airframe speed is advanced, so we've done some more wind tunnel testing and have figured out how to improve the airframe. Don't know if this means swept wings or what. We let it go. And the 24th Waffengebirgs Division Karstjäger was formed. Battalion in 44, later have been fighting partisans in Italy since 42. Slovenia, Croatia, in the Ukraine, the division had a considerable success in performing anti-partisan duties before the ending of the war fighting against the British forces. Yes, this is definitely a much more successful than that, wherever they are, I forget, down here, the scan whatever, these guys. So sure, we'll take another mountain unit. And they should be down here somewhere. Let's see what they look like. Come on, come on. I'm gonna have patience enough to scroll all the way down here, or am I gonna lose patience and just try to jump and... Okay, here we are. Okay, so we're in Italy. We don't need to stay in Italy. Let's look for a decent SS mountain leader. Commander like this guy. I don't like this guy. Why? Because he has a black uniform, so he's not, at least at that point, not Waffen SS. Nobody at this point was wearing black. I know I have used some black uniformed images just because that's all I was able to find of the guy. But basically, of the German SS, no one was wearing black really by this point. It all moved to gray. It was mainly, I think, the Dutch and the Norwegian SS units, or SS personnel, as in their local nationalities, were... Okay, this guy, we'll give it to him. We're wearing black. there. We've got a okay-ish. And let's just send these guys up there. Once they get fully equipped with their pack artillery, they'll make a good mountain division. Because if they get there in time and we need them, we've got lots of. And if America doesn't fold fast, we've got lots of mountains around here to fight in. As soon as I get a port, you're moving. Okay, broadcasting advance. That's good. I'm going to end that. Well, that's basic education. That's good. Now we also have some more leadership, so let's go first aid. Almost to 45. Yes, we're going to do 100 more manpower. That's good. Well, we've got lots of manpower, but just for a month? No. Oh no, that's for a year. Organization. That's decent. Money, I don't need money. Starting experience. Well, I need money, but Germany doesn't need money. Yeah, we're going to be fighting hard in the US. We may lose troops and need replacement. Because right now, compared to when we were fighting the Soviets, we were burning through lots and lots and lots of replacement troops. Now we just have a few. Wow, look at that. You remember, okay, here's something to... So that was almost completed, and then it got readjusted, and it went all the way down to that. That's because all those damn things that make things longer to do. So, note to self, note to you guys, maybe just take the on-map version. I know it doesn't normally give you as much starting experience, but go with that, because I don't like that happening. Partially because I've already paid for it, because to get some of the various, event place units, we're getting some of those negatives there that have been going for a long time for what the adjustments there. So you paid for them already. And I'm all for giving free stuff like captured equipment, because hey, that's captured, but not for giving free production to things. One of the things I've looked at that I still haven't even gotten to yet is we talk about the upgrades for to the new version of Black Ice. Well, they've changed light transportation units to meaning units really just for like paratroopers, mountain units, and other sort of light warfare Jaegers type things. So I think those will still be good there. But they've added civilian transports to the sort of truck type transports. So a lot of the NSKK order battle units that I do, and I presume some of the other modders also do, that are sort of units representing rounding up the civilian vehicles, they should be transferred to that. So now you have, let's see, because I looked at all of them in one moment. You have mechanized trucks, light transport, and civilian transport, and horse transport. So you have 5 types of transport units in the new newest version of black ice. So obviously most all infantry divisions will get the horse, and from what was posted, really you shouldn't give them, I don't know whether if they're thinking for like the semi-motorized type, because that's who I was also sort of giving some of the light transports to. But I guess if you're doing a semi-motorized type division, you'd probably go with either trucks or civilian transports, and leave the, if you're going to motorize things like mountain divisions and airborne divisions and Jaeger divisions, use the light transports because they're airdroppable and set up for that. And then your main motorized units would be either trucks or half tracks. And I know a few of you, why not just convert everything over to half tracks, and we're pushing for that. Well, there are some techs that affect it, so it's, I think, affect fuel usage for that. I know affect fuel usage for some of the other stuff, but the half tracks use a lot more fuel than the trucks. So although they may give better universal performance, I don't know if that's quite true as in truly universal, but generally give better performance than trucks. If you're guzzling down the fuel, and yeah, right now, since all of this, I mean, this isn't a huge part of my army, and it's a lot of foreign units. They aren't moving around much, but even like corps here, the disc corps is a combination of a counter invasion corps, and it's sitting on a port that if I need another infantry corps, it's ready to go to America, so it's sort of doing double duty. And it's horse transport, so even that, it's not burning up fuel. But even if I were to convert all these over to trucks or half tracks, they're not burning fuel. But if I start burning fuel like we saw with the invasion of the Soviet Union, and I was literally running out of fuel, even though I had oil, it wasn't no oil, no fuel. It was oil with still no fuel. You can burn yourself out of oil or out of fuel. So you need to watch full motorization. You need to watch upgrading everything to half tracks. So even upgrading all, gotta realize a lot of the armored divisions, well, no, let me restate that. All of the armored divisions had primarily truck transports. Now that may very well mean that let's walk through you. Where's that very well mean that this half-track unit is set up to not mean that it's 100% prime movers towing all of your, or carrying all of your supplies, because they did have and which is, of course, this can also mean mulators, which are just simply trucks with the simplistic half-tracks on them. And I hope people understand that not all half-tracks are created equal. This is obviously, I don't know the tonnage of this particular model that we're seeing here, and it's on the heavier side, and I don't keep all those in my head. But these are rather expensive to build because, yeah, they're relatively powerful engines, well organized, but the whole half-track mechanism is a fairly complicated thing to build, much more so than a truck. What they did also do is generally called mulators, and I know most of you know all this, but or most of it, is they would simply remove the wheels, the rear wheels of the truck, sort of just expand the fender area, and have the standard transmission, or nearly the standard transmission, go to a I don't have a good photo. I wish I could easily drop them in here. Of just a simplistic half-track, much similar to what the U.S. half-track. U.S. half-tracks weren't nearly as sophisticated as the German ones. Just so and they had a couple different versions of it, partially because different manufacturers, but mostly it was just sort of a basic replacement of the rear tire sets with a just a few track links or a few road wheel things, and not interleaving wheels like this. So they weren't anywhere near as cross-country setup as these are, but they were much more effective in the mud and the snow. And sort of think of them as sort of mud and snow for dirt road type driving, and a little roughish terrain, but not pulling heavy loads up steep hill, relatively steep hills, or relatively rough going. It's just a bit rougher going. This is pretty solid. Then of course you also have the German armored half-tracks, which is another whole level of manufacturing additions, because the sheet metal on here are stampings that are very quick to do, and if you're mass producing them in factories, and don't know how efficient Germany was in making the metal stampings for the bodies of the half-tracks or trucks or whatever, but those are quick and easy. Welding, cutting, they did have some jig machines, most assuredly, because they got them all exactly the same, but it wasn't quite the modern speed high intensity welding jig machines, or cutting welding machines to cut the armored plates into the right shape that would be done. They obviously did have some of that, but not quite as fast or as efficient as modern going on. You look at like a modern car factory, nothing like that. And then assembling that, you're still welding the stuff together, and I don't think that they had any sort of robotic arms that were putting it into the right place and then welding around the panels. No, there were people holding them in place and presumably clamping them and whatnot to make sure that they're exactly in the right place, and then welding, again, hand welding kind of these things up. So making an armored half-track is much more complicated. And when you're doing all this, it increases weight, which increases fuel usage to move it. So that comes down to, and these all should have heavier fuel consumption. So be wary of mass upgrading. I'm not saying you can't do it, not saying you shouldn't do it, but if you're at all of fuel concerns, you may have problems there. And if we start heavy operations here in the U.S., get all those units that are sitting in Britain over here, that can start, bringing down fuel here, two, making fuel deliveries across the Atlantic harder and harder. So that's why trucks, light vehicles, and even horse transport are still very useful in that they reduce supply strains. So keep that in mind when you're thinking about what you're going to upgrade to. No, I want to get these guys. Set them over here to convoy raid passively. So keep that in mind, like I say. Right now seems to be plenty of supplies to capture the port. Oh. Let me see how we're doing down here. Okay, we've eliminated the American threat that was here. Let's race everybody up to the port. We can then... We are at war with these guys, I believe, but there's no land connection effectively through here. Ecuador, I think, is neutral. Yep, and we are influencing it. Try to keep it neutral or get it in our camp. I'm going to be happy with a buffer zone here, because Colombia we're at war with, but this jungle is just too much to move anybody through, so I'm happy with that at the moment. We'll get this port. We have this one here that's being used as supply, and we're sending in. Well, let's build some air power I only said this one. This would be Lima's better place to put some money. What did we get here? Okay, a lot of armaments factories intact in Lima. That's good. We'll need to get some occupation troops over here. Put that, and up here. Oh, the U.S. did have some basing in Peru and I believe Chile, or using some stuff. I know they were giving some heavy equipment to Chile during the war, anti-aircraft guns and such, because when they did come in the war, basically just to help with anti-submarine situation with the Japanese and supplying over there. Supply depot sabotaged. Commandos belonging to Brazil did that. Wow. I guess that's this remnant armory. Theoretically. I don't know when. I presume it's more of a win. But if you notice with TRE, you have effective defenses down here in the Panama Canal Zone, because I did upgrade some of their coastal forts that they had. Okay, great. Now, this is going to be probably painful, I'm presuming more so at least, in submarine losses, or I'm sorry, convoy losses to submarines. I'm going to create it. Hopefully we can do that now. La Rochelle to Veracruz, because that will put us more and more going through places the U.S. will be able to hit. Okay. Next transport, I want to get, we're looking at rough terrain. Okay, stop. We're going to start going there. All right. They're counterattacking, so what we will do is that surface-to-air missiles advanced. Well, great. The Germans did develop a shoulder-fired, non-guided surface-to-air missile. In the very last day of the war, it's sort of a volley fire. Well, okay, volley fire rockets off the shoulder. That's all it really was. Just put them up there. It wasn't any sort of shoulder fire SAM that we're used to. But they did do that, so that will help our provincial by 400%. So in our provincial anti-air, now I don't know what the U.S. provincial anti-air looks like now. They could also be excellent. Is pretty good right now, so okay. No, okay, we're gonna defeat those guys. Okay. Attach them locally. And that's not a big enough shipping unit for them. And guys, go up to here. Oh no, I don't want transport, I want to rebase. Send these guys to Guadeloupe. These I do just want to transport. Okay, this has been fun. I sort of lost track of time, so I think we're going to end the episode here. Thanks for watching. Thanks for liking the videos. Do appreciate that. Please post your comments either about stuff I'm droning on about or about how I'm playing the game, because sometimes you spot things that I miss. So I do appreciate that. See you next time.